we're still a bad road team, and we're also a bad 3-point shooting team. And um, I sound like a broken record truly at this point, but it just to me, if we don't get that fixed, we're not going to the NBA Finals, and ultimately that's what we're playing for. I did mention on other pods that I think we can go to the conference finals, but we've been there before in the last couple of years, and we get swept, and I don't think that's a good reputation to have in the NBA, in my opinion. You want to be known for being able to climb the
You
mountain.
you probably follow them. You'll probably see it on your. But
Well, I was gonna say Ben. Yeah, Ben has the NBA sponsorship now. He gets paid by the NBA to do
yeah,
those commentating videos. So
yeah, dude. Those are
yeah,
super
he
dope.
does an
So
amazing job.
for everyone who doesn't know about it, thinking basketball for sure is super quality content, and it kind of shows you more of a X's and O's of like basketball. So it's always great to see stuff like that. But wanted to shout him out, and just obviously I just watched it prior to us hopping on. So like, what is the criteria to get your jersey retired? I guess, and kind of
Ooh,
alluding to like kind of what we did, a segment that we did probably a few podcasts ago. It's are these players going to get their jerseys retired? Shit, if
that was
Andre
like four.
Iguodala, if Andre Iguodala is gonna get his jersey retired from the Warriors, then probably every single person you named is probably gonna get their jersey
Well, I have a
retired.
good answer for you on that. I
All right, let's
think.
hear it.
I think it varies from team to team. Well, I'll be I don't know how to put this. I love Sacramento. You know, I'm from there. I just think they've never been able to figure it out, bro. And
Yeah,
it's I remember they used to play Lakers. They couldn't figure it out then. I just think like since then they haven't done anything, and it's
hmm
just frustrating because they've had the pieces.
yeah,
They let Tyrese Halliburton walk, even though they traded him. They still that still was in the door, and they didn't see what that could turn into with De'Aaron Fox. And I just think it's and they're losing Fox, right? Right, like so.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your co-host CJ here with my lovely co-host ZD. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm in the building, right? I feel. I mean, kind of salty. We took that loss, man. Um, I'll get into it in a second, but I think we just got some work to do on the defensive end, and we got to figure out our minute situation. I think that's kind of an overall thing in the NBA going on, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about at this moment because we were
Bro.
just talking
Yeah, we
about
were
it.
just
But
talking about it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, I'm excited to chat about some things that we have, man. We're gonna go around the NBA for a second, do our betting segment, of course.
hmm
I hear your thoughts on the Thunder. They have a game tonight. They haven't played a ton of games, but
Right.
yeah, I'm excited, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. Like I said, I mean, I bring it up every time we shoot. It's always just a fun time being able to chop it up with you about hoops, bro. So I'm always
Yeah.
grateful for
Oh yeah,
moments like this, because we were talking
man.
about it before as well. We just not we don't have a lot of people we could do this with. So the fact that
Yeah.
we're both pretty
We can count
passionate
on
about
it.
it, right? We could count on it exactly. So. No, I'm doing great, bro. Just ready to get into this episode, chop it up about some
Yes,
teams, and
sir.
hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully we
bro.
could cash some people out with these bets that we place.
Nah, for sure. I was gonna say that, so I'm glad you brought that up. I've been ice cold, but I'm not missing this time, bro. So
That's what I like to
y'all,
hear.
y'all, y'all bear with me. Like CJ was telling me last time. He's like, hopefully, how many picks you gonna get? I got two for y'all.
Yeah.
So actually three if you want to count the parlay. So
Okay.
we gonna see, man. We
Yeah,
gonna
we'll,
see.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, kind of just like I kind of want to hear your thoughts on that
Yeah,
game
on the
last
Lakers,
night, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
What do you?
Yeah, I'll start with the Sixers side, man. I mean, we were talking about it before we got on, but I just think Tyrese Maxey. I mean, he was kind of the entire offense for the Sixers essentially. They played him the entire game, and I think people are asleep on the Sixers, bro. I told you on Christmas. I'll remind people again. If the Sixers are fully healthy, they're pretty good. I mean, and they're still not fully healthy, but my point is they do have offensive firepower that I don't think teams are giving them proper, acknowledgement for. And
Hundred
clearly the
percent,
Lakers
bro.
weren't able to do that. And um, once again, bro, I think we just look disarray, like we're in disarray on defense, and at times we don't know what to do. Double hedge screens. Sometimes we're still blaming others for not being in help side, even though it's our responsibility. There's just a lot of stuff that's still going on that I kind of sound like a broken record, but ultimately, I think that's what's been so cool about this season is that, we can kind of see the consistency of how our teams play,
Hmm
right? But I think the Sixers had they've been playing, especially recently, bro, because they've had a couple really quality wins. They've been playing a lot more with a lot more cohesiveness and
Hmm.
playing together. And I wanted to shout them out a little bit. But going into the Lakers, bro, I think AD got hurt kind of pretty quickly into this game, which unfortunately I'll go into the kind of the minutes thing. It's just I feel like we're playing him too many minutes, and maybe that could be another topic for another day, like a longer conversation. But a lot of the guys around the NBA are just playing 35, 36 minutes a night. And obviously, me and CJ love that. We love seeing guys out there. I just think it does put kind of a damper on, you know, doing that over and over again. It can be hard, especially on the joints and stuff like that. But unfortunately, he strained his like abdomen, I think. So he went out pretty quickly. LeBron had 31 points. Obviously, tried to be our savior this entire game. Dalton Connect as well too. Was definitely going off. I think he had like 24 points, but there was actually this clip that like the audio person had leaked, and I think JJ had called a timeout. I think it was in the third quarter, but um, he had run a play for Dalton Connect, and this dude just didn't run he didn't run the play. So JJ called a timeout and was like, "What the?" He was just irate, and
Uh,
um, I feel like when AD went out, we lost our entire offense. He's recently been, if people don't know, he's been hooping. He recently had like a 40 and 20 game. He's kind of been the engine to our train, and when you take out the engine of a train, it's not gonna work, or a car, or whatever you want to say. And obviously, our offense can't rely on like a 40-year-old to be scoring the most points. Um, I just think again this was another tale of our bench not being able to show up besides DK, and then with no AD, we're definitely. I think I've said it before. If one of our superstars gets hurt, we're in trouble. We don't have the bench depth, and we don't have another big that's even capable of playing remotely like Anthony Davis. And I think that's really gonna allow teams to key in on LeBron, and that's what the Sixers were able to do. He still was able to score his 30 points, but when you're able to really key in on one person and kind of let the other people do their thing, then it kind of is what it is. I was looking for Austin Reeves to step up as well, didn't get it. Unfortunately, that's not going to help us, especially if AD is going to be hurt going forward. I think we needed a little bit more offensive firepower from him, and we didn't get that. And yeah, we're still a bad road team, and we're also a bad 3-point shooting team. And um, I sound like a broken record truly at this point, but it just to me, if we don't get that fixed, we're not going to the NBA Finals, and ultimately that's what we're playing for. I did mention on other pods that I think we can go to the conference finals, but we've been there before in the last couple of years, and we get swept, and I don't think that's a good reputation to have in the NBA, in my opinion. You want to be known for being able to climb the mountain, but ultimately, bro, this was just another blemish game and kind of poor defense. I think our transition defense was awful. Oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about that, but I remember in my notes, our transition defense was horrible. I mean, Tyrese Maxey would just leisurely dribble the ball up the court, and not even he would make, a half court setting turn into a transition setting. It was crazy. Like he would just kind of slowly dribble it up, and then he would just drive past everybody, and people have their backs turned. They don't know what they're doing, and there's no communication, and it's just frustrating. And I hope AD's healthy. I hope, again, this might be a precaution thing. Maybe he was just like, let me sit a couple games. That's fine. Maybe he might need some rest. That's completely okay. But yeah, if AD's not going to be in, then we're in some trouble. Um, and also, the Sixers are kind of good. I think people, when they're healthy, they're a team. Like I was saying on Christmas, they gave the Celtics a run for their money. I think they beat them, right?
yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, in the Garden, and
Hmm.
yeah, when Embiid and Paul George are all in, obviously Maxey last night was kind of the main one who was going off, but I just think they have a better team than people give them credit for. And when Jared McCain comes back, and yeah, they're
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
But
no, they're definitely
yeah,
one of those teams. It's kind of like if injuries weren't a thing, what would they be? Where would they be at right now? So
yeah,
no, yeah, I
yeah.
guess my thing for you is obviously with AD. Do we know what exactly his injury is, or how long he's going to be out for, or is it kind of just day to day?
Uh, I think it's a day-to-day abdominal strain. Another thing that I had seen was, well, I think it was just, it, last point, but I think when he goes down, we just need other players to step up. I think Dalton Connect was able to sort of do that. this past night, but ultimately, like, if AD's hurt for weeks, they call it a day-to-day injury. That's really gonna hurt our offense.
Hmm.
Um, and we're gonna basically need Dalton Connect to be scoring 20 points if we have any shot of competing with teams. And we got it within like three, I think. Like it was a closer game than like the box score is gonna show. But again, it was we kind of let go of the rope. Our defense slipped, and they were ultimately able to come out with the dub.
Yeah, yeah, because with him being out, y'all play small ball, right?
Yeah, yeah, we play LeBron at like the five, bro.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes, or we'll put him at the one, and then kind of, we'll put in. This is what we'll do. We'll put Austin Reeves at the one or the two. LeBron is playing the two or the one. Then we'll put in, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jerry Vanderbilt,
Hmm.
and then we'll find, we'll fill it out with other bigs like Jackson Hayes or,
Oh yeah,
maybe like a
Cri- yeah.
Koloko.
I was gonna
But
say Christian Koloko.
yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. That's our bigs.
Yeah.
Like so, AD kind of has a point. Like there needs to be another supplemental big. I think we could sign another big, especially if he gets hurt for a while. We may have
Have
to,
to, yeah.
because we don't have good bigs.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, bro. I mean, it's really frustrating because we've been playing so well, and for people who don't know, like we've been kind of, we've been on a little winning streak. I think we've like, we have like a top 10 over our last 10 games. We've had a top 10 record in the NBA.
Mm.
So, clearly the Lakers have kind of found what works for them, but I think this kind of is another bump in the road, and it's just a roller coaster, bro. I don't know. Every time I come on here, it's just something different.
Yeah, yeah. So what if AD being out a week? Let's say, are you nervous about these next couple games?
No, I think we'll be okay. I think. Well, I'm not. I
Okay,
don't remember
I got you.
who's.
I was about to say
Yeah, yeah,
I could
yeah.
tell
Pull
you
it
the
up.
next couple games for you. So
'Cause I think we play.
y'all have
Who did I see? Was it like the?
y'all play Washington on Thursday, New York on Saturday,
Oh, it was New York. It was New
Clippers
York.
on the 4th, and then Golden State on the 6th.
Yeah. So the New York game and the Clippers game will be interesting. I think the Wizards game, right,
Right, y'all should handle
is a
business.
W.
Hopefully,
We should.
Austin Reeves can kind of
Yeah, and DK, and then I think the Warriors are pretty buns too. I think we can go 2-2. Hopefully, that's like a week's worth of games, and
yeah.
he can come back.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, man. I just looked at his profile. It says he is out and he will be reevaluated in a week. So hopefully, everything's
Right.
fine. But it's also one of those things where, I mean, obviously, you were talking about it with a lot of the minutes he's been getting. It's like you might have to cut back on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, he's been doing a great. He's been essentially an Iron Man for the last 2 seasons.
2 years,
Yeah, three
right?
years, whatever. It's like, but at the same time, like you said, you're LeBron or AD from going down from you know not being as good as a team as you are with them, of course.
Oh,
So
bro, being like a bottom tier team, you got to remember with LeBron and AD in there, we have a negative net rating.
yeah, oh yeah, I forget that, bro. But
Like we're not even like we're still like a 500 team with them
with
there.
them there,
So
yeah.
yeah, so
So
it's like
hopefully, even when he comes back, y'all aren't playing him as much. But I mean, you might have to. That's the thing.
yeah, I think JJ would definitely take you up on a glass of wine over that statement
That
because
yeah,
we'll have to see.
yeah, bro. So I guess I mean
Yeah, I think well, I was gonna say one thing
yeah, it
too. I
was
just think, bro, like the Sixers are they have some things, man. I'm not gonna like make any excuses per se, but I think Tyrese Maxey can go. I've said that twice already, but it was kind of more of a game about the Sixers than it is about the Lakers. I think the Lakers play horribly on the road. I'm
hmm
not really surprised we lost, but
hmm
I just think the Sixers are kind of hot right now. People
they're
haven't been talking about them,
they're
but
they're
they've been
definitely
winning.
a better team than what the record shows for sure. I think that's kind of my takeaway for them this season, because whenever they are healthy, whenever that happens, it's not been that often this season, but they're one of those teams. It's going to be, especially for the East, if they could slip into a playoff spot, it's going to be a tough matchup for them for sure.
Yeah, and JJ's gotta change these screen coverages, man. Especially with no AD. It's just like the guards in the NBA nowadays are too quick, bro, and
Mm-hmm.
too skilled. It's like there's literally not a bro, name me a bum starting point guard in the NBA. A bum.
I couldn't, not off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're
Yeah,
all,
there isn't one.
yeah, they're
No,
all good.
there's not one.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's not.
yeah,
It's okay, but
yeah.
we just have to figure out a way to cover screens. So Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, De'Aaron Fox, anybody like that is gonna kill the Lakers.
Right.
Take your point guards against the Lakers. LaMelo Ball, like anybody. It's just we can't guard the guards, and there's a reason for that. They're all very skilled. Like even like quickly, like even on the Raptors, I was kind of thinking of
Mm-hmm.
like who do they have? But
Right.
they still have
Quickly.
somebody who's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's just a lot to deal with. So
Mm-hmm.
I think people need to understand that. Like if you haven't been watching the NBA this season, you don't really know.
Right.
But every single point guard in the NBA is pretty good.
Right.
Like CJ's saying, there's not really a bum starting point guard.
Nope. Not at all, man. It's crazy. The league is stacked right
Yeah.
now in that guard position.
Yeah. 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 Jalen Suggs is good. Like
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox is good. Like yeah, all these guys are good. That's
No.
why I asked you that because it's like truly there's nobody. When we were younger, there used to be like kind of
Right.
but now there's really like, bro, you have to hedge the screen. Like basically all these guys can shoot, they can dunk on you, they can dribble. Like that's why I'm like it's so infuriating. There's literally not a single team in the NBA that has a bad point guard. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to hedge the screen. You have to double sometimes. It's like, oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
But I was about to say, kind of obviously the Thunder
What you
haven't.
got?
I was about to say Thunder haven't
Yeah.
been playing these past couple days, but
I was gonna ask you, bro, how do you feel about that? Do you feel good about that? I feel like that's like gotta feel kind of good because
it
y'all have been playing since like the first day of the season.
right, yeah, it is like I think I told you before. It's kind of nice because you're not stressing about being so locked into a game, because obviously it's my favorite team, so I'm gonna invest a lot of my time into it, and just kind of like analyze everything and pay attention to all the
Yeah,
little
you like
things.
check the slate, CJ. You're like, oh, no Thunder.
Right. So I'm chilling, but I actually watched Thinking Basketball. I just posted it probably a couple hours ago when I got
Shout
home. So
out
I
Ben,
watched it.
bro.
Super good channel. They did one with the Terror Twins the other
Oh
probably like a week
man,
ago.
oh man,
Super good. But
oh,
he also just did a video about the Thunder, and
Thunder. Yep.
on paper, I think this is the best defensive team of all time, including like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the Bulls, the Spurs, like
Yeah,
the
that's why it's
Warriors.
yeah.
So, and it's crazy because obviously we haven't had Chet for pretty much this whole season, and then iHeart's been in and out of the lineup. So he was talking about how they were kind of substituting size for our speed. We have really good like horizontal speed, so we're able to keep the guards in front of us, and then
Right.
we do a good job. I think we allowed the least amount of points in the paint as a team,
Okay. Yeah.
which kind of
I, I
it makes sense, right? Because that's the thing that I've always been like griping on them about is the open threes, is the 3-point defense. So I mean,
right.
if you're kind of
Yeah, that
substituting that for
correlates. Right,
that, I
right,
mean
right.
it
Right.
obviously a 3-point is 3 points opposed to 2 points, but I think we're relying on more teams to probably be missing their shots opposed to them being able to get easy buckets in the paint. So it's kind of how you look at it, right? But I just watched that video, and of course it's cool for me because I'll watch them play and I'll realize certain things, but whenever someone that actually makes the content and is making basketball videos does it, it's cool because like I think about all the stuff they're saying, but he's kind of like putting it like into words. You know what I mean?
Words.
So
Right.
it's
Yeah, he's
super fire.
commentating over that.
And I mean, of course, shout out to Lou Dort. He's probably going to be all or all defense player this
Oh
year.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But he was saying like, the thing that we have is, yeah, like there was a point in time when our lineup was super short. Like J Dub was our center for a long time, but the thing with the team is they all have like really long wingspans, so they're able to pretty much deflect passes, like deny the ball. Like it's hard to score on us,
Yeah.
obviously. So it's super dope watching stuff like that. And also, I mean, you probably follow them. You'll probably see it on your. But
Well, I was gonna say Ben. Yeah, Ben has the NBA sponsorship now. He gets paid by the NBA to do
yeah,
those commentating videos. So
yeah, dude, those are
yeah,
super
he
dope.
does an
So
amazing job.
for everyone who doesn't know about it, thinking basketball for sure is super quality content, and it kind of shows you more of X's and O's of like basketball. So it's always great to see stuff like that. But wanted to shout him out, and just obviously I just watched it prior to us hopping on. So just
Right.
kind of like that. It blows my mind because for me personally, that 2011 2012 Thunder team always like has like a special heart in my like or special spot in my heart, and like I think that's the
Right.
greatest Thunder team of all time. But like I'm not gonna lie, bro. We might be witnessing the greatest Thunder team of all time. Like, and I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like basing it off of this how the season's going and the fact that they're so good on defense, and we haven't really had all our players healthy. It's like it's what it's looking like, bro. But of course, I can't say that until I see them lift up that Larry O'Brien trophy. But it is kind of like on statistically on paper, we might be witnessing it, but I think it's always
I don't know.
nostalgia factor,
100%.
and you know what I mean. So, but no, yeah, I mean that's kind
Yeah.
of really all I
Well, I was
really
gonna
have for
say
the Thunder. Yeah,
you were watching thinking basketball more than you were watching their games because they ain't been playing. But
right.
I do have a couple questions for you, sir. I
Yeah,
mean, I
for
was
sure.
gonna see your thoughts on the game they have tonight because I wanted to say I think they do play the Warriors. I think the spread is like 11 points. Obviously, the Thunder should win, but um, what are your thoughts on that matchup? Obviously, the matchup used to be more interesting, I think, with Clay last year,
Hmm.
and obviously the Warriors aren't as good now. But you think this is a win?
Yeah.
And obviously, like you were saying, the defense is kind of travels, so
Hmm.
they'll be okay on that perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts?
You know what I mean? Obviously Steph hasn't been playing as well as he was at the beginning of the season, but I'm not gonna lie
Right.
to you, bro. I feel like anytime we go against the Warriors, it's always a battle. You know what I mean? Going back to especially last season, I remember specifically like Chet getting fouled for a 3-point line to like send it to OT, and he made all three of his free
Yeah,
throws.
yeah,
That was probably
yeah,
the crazy. I think he hit like a fadeaway like 3-pointer.
yeah,
Like
bro.
yeah,
They
so
won. I think they won that
they
game
went.
because he hit that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's just stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like obviously Warriors are kind of on a downward spiral right now, and their season's not looking that great. But I feel like with Steph being kind of named the All Star starter, and he's going against the best team in the league right now. I feel like he's gonna wake up. I mean, I know we talked about it when we bet on him last week. It's we kind of thought that same thing, but we do a terrible job of defending the 3-pointers, and obviously he's the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. So I'm low key kind of expecting a great game from Steph tonight, and then
I'm
I think
not.
I think we'll win. I think we'll win, but
I
I
think Steph's ass about to get locked up by Lou Dort.
you think so?
Man, I know so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, bro. We just do a terrible job of defending the three. That's my only thing, and he's
It's
he's
fair.
he's the
I
greatest
mean,
three
that's what
point
I wanted
shooter
to
of
see. I
all
mean,
time.
you never know. I
Yeah,
thought you might say something interesting like that, but yeah, for people who don't know, the Warriors are just playing.
really bad.
Well, the Thunder. I think I said it early, or maybe two pods ago, but they've had a tough schedule, so I think it's fine. They should play some
Yeah,
easier.
yeah. I was say I think recently has been a little lighter of a schedule. Obviously, we lost against the Mavs, but it was like the Jazz, the Wizards, Portland. Now it's Golden State. So you know what I mean. But
Well, the Jazz and y'all barely won,
yeah,
so it's like it's those. I think that's what we were talking about. Those are the games that are like it just doesn't make sense because
Yeah,
they smack the Wizards, but like yeah, they just play. Yeah, it's like Shea's out there for 30 minutes against the Jazz. It's like
yeah, that shouldn't have been a thing for sure,
well, his career night was nice.
for sure.
Yeah,
I'm always down to see someone drop 50. You know what I mean?
100%, man, 100%.
But
That can't goes without saying, brother.
no, yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, we're just nitpicking shit at this point. So I mean,
Worse.
that it's kind of of course we should be blowing these teams out, but like you say, at the end of the day, a win is a win, right?
Yeah, I think
Regardless, like I mean, it's a dub on the schedule. So I mean, of course, you should
yeah
be blowing all these teams out. But if that was the case, then the team
they're
would be
just gonna
82-0, right?
yeah, and the Thunder. I just think they're for real. I think we'll just have to see that. We'll see them in the playoffs,
We'll
bro.
see in the
Cause
playoffs. That's all I
yeah,
can.
bro, like yeah, that's when I think though, like I was gonna ask you too, do you think that this defense will translate that you were talking about, kind of like whenever Ben was going through his stuff on thinking basketball, like do you think that will translate to the playoffs, or do you think another team will have the number one defense in the playoffs? Because I was thinking about that. That's probably what matters.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Thunder could do that, but
Um,
um,
like I said, bro, I think in the playoffs, if we're giving up open threes all the time like that, then probably not because a team is gonna probably be if they're in the playoffs, they're a good team, so they're gonna be able to knock down those shots more than likely. And if we're relying on teams missing, then that's just a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? Like
right,
that's not how that works in the playoffs. So, I mean, if anything, maybe a drop off in being like the best deep like points in the paint per game or whatever. Maybe that drop in
yeah,
and getting
yeah,
better at just defense in totality.
points in the paint allowed, right,
Yeah,
right.
like maybe allowing a little bit more, but you're not allowing open threes every fucking minute. Maybe, but I mean, I'm not expecting them to probably be the best defense of all time come
Well, I was
playoffs.
actually gonna go the opposite. I think with the less fouls, just to play, we'll see. We'll see. I think defense is something you can always, like we were saying, bro, you can count on it
Yeah,
if you want.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's something you can always do. Doesn't matter if the ball's going in the bucket. Like you can always play defense. So we're gonna have to see. I think that's interesting. We'll talk about it whenever we get there.
Right. Yeah, and we have the
Yeah.
players for it to translate. I'm
Yeah.
not
Of course.
doubting it. It's just
Of course.
you gotta be realistic sometimes, and I don't think at this rate that they've been going at, like historic level, I don't think it's gonna be like that come playoff time. Not saying that they're not gonna be a good defensive team still though.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough. Yeah. You wanna travel around the league a little bit, talk about any of the, I think we were talking about Andre Iguodala,
yeah,
the De'Aaron Fox stuff, and then we
yeah,
can
yeah.
get into some of the teams we're gonna be chatting about too.
Yeah. So I'll just start off with the Iguodala thing just to kind of see what your thoughts
Hey,
on
yeah,
it.
bro. Yeah. We'll
Everyone.
talk about that for probably, bro. We could talk about this for a little second because I
Right.
think it's kind of interesting with the retired jerseys, like you were saying.
Right,
So
right, right.
I
So,
got you.
and for everyone that doesn't know, Andre Iguodala is going to get his number retired for the Golden State Warriors. Kind of shocking to me. I'm assuming it's probably shocking to a lot of people as well. But
Bro said,
the thing that I've realized with like jersey retirements, it's obviously what they were to that team because the Thunder have like Nick Collison's jersey retired, which like Nick Collison is a legend, but he's a Thunder legend, right? It's not like he was top whatever and rebounds, like this and that. He was just a professional.
right.
So obviously Iguodala contributed to that finals team, their first one. He got a finals MVP, and I don't know. It's just more so for me like what is the criteria to get your jersey retired, I guess, and kind of
Ooh.
alluding to like kind of what we did a segment that we did probably a few podcasts ago. It's are these players going to get their jerseys retired? Shit, if
That was
Andre
like four.
Iguodala, if Andre Iguodala is going to get his jersey retired from the Warriors, then probably every single person you named is probably gonna get their jersey
Well, I have a
retired.
good answer for you on that. I
All right, let's hear
think.
it.
I think it varies from team to team, and I think, for example, the Derrick Rose, right? Like I think we talked about, right? Like obviously, he didn't even play that long for the Bulls, right? Like he did, but just what he brought to the city, and obviously, I would argue he's more impactful than Andre Iguodala. Like I'm not saying that that's. I don't know why the Warriors necessarily chose Andre like Iguodala, but just to give a little bit more context, I think it varies from team to team and what you contribute to that specific team. And I think it matters like what era you were playing in. So for example, you brought up Nick Collison. For people that don't know, he was on those teams with, Durant,
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook, and more importantly, Harden.
Harden, yeah.
Like he was a part of that, him and Ibaka. Like people kind of forget that he was in there, and he just really stayed with the Thunder throughout his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, it's kind of I think it's more of a sign of respect than anything. I'm also going to ask you if you agree with that, but I'll let you talk about it in a second. But I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Is I think every single team has different criteria, but I think they all have a part of it at least be about like kind of like what this player brought and the kind of like the culture around this player and do we respect this player to the highest degree kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I think that's only reserved for certain people. And I'm not going to criticize Andre Iguodala. Like congrats for him. I like him as a player.
Right.
I like him as a person. um I don't necessarily know if like he should get his jersey retired. I would love to hear like a Warriors fan on that, but looking from an outside view, I think it's kind of weird, right? He didn't really do anything for them
Right.
outside of the Finals MVP, and even that was kind of egregious in my opinion. And
Right.
you can have your own opinions about that. We're not gonna get into that, but ultimately, I think he came back, I think, and played a veteran role. So that's also another thing. Like people kind of forget is kind of after his playing days were over, he was still a part of those championships teams, the
Mm-hmm.
2022 NBA Finals. I remember him getting on Andrew Wiggins and kind of just pumping the team up. But yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a lot of players who have potential to get their jerseys retired, and it's not based off their skill, essentially. I
Right.
think it's going to be based off culture, respect, what you brought to the team. Like that's kind of why we brought like Chris Middleton. I think is like I don't know if he should get his jersey retired based on skill, but he might because he's been with the Bucks forever,
Right.
and they have a respect towards what he's done for the city. And ultimately I respect that. That's kind of a deeper than a basketball type thing, and I kind of like that. I think it kind of shows that you have more to offer than just your services on the court. It's like you were a good person, you treated the locker room well, like people remember you, you treated the staff members well, like things like that people don't even think of. But
Right. Like you're a
that's
professional. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro. That's exactly that's the that's there's one word for it. It's that.
yeah.
Like what I just said. There's an easier way to say it, and CJ said it. It's just professional.
Right.
Like it's really just being professional. But yeah, bro. Like I think shout out Iguodala.
For
Obviously, I know
sure.
you rock with him too. In my opinion, I think the Sixers Iguodala, if you guys don't remember, for our younger audience, was cold as hell,
Cold.
bro. Him and
Even
it
when he
was
went to the
cold,
Nuggets,
bro.
bro. Like
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
Nuggets
say
team
even
was actually
Nuggets.
like kind of cold. I remember playing with them in
Yeah,
2K and
bro.
shit. Ty Lawson,
Bro,
Kenneth
what the
Fareed.
J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, whenever bro, even AI showed
Yeah,
up
yeah,
on that team
yeah,
later.
bro.
That's crazy, but bro, those dudes were so cold. But anyways, bro,
Yeah,
I
sorry.
think what are your thoughts on it, man? I don't know if you have any
I
thoughts on it. I know for example though, I know you would probably agree with retiring Chris Middleton's jersey more than Andre Iguodala's for the
yes,
Warriors.
I agree with that 100%. I think it was just
Yeah.
kind of out of the blue, to be honest. So I mean, not saying he doesn't deserve it. Obviously, we're not in the locker room. We're not a part of the organization. We don't know how he was. Obviously, we probably hear stuff. I mean, he has a podcast now, so he talks about it. But like, we don't know. But obviously, I think him being a part of not only winning their first championship since was it Wilt or whenever they last time they won prior to,
Yep, yep, yeah.
so him getting that their like first one of the dynasties like finals MVP, like you said, up for debate who you think wins it. Regardless, he got the trophy, and I think that's probably holding a
Right.
lot of weight. But also, like you said, him being a veteran presence for those other teams as well. I feel like that's probably more so
Jordan
where,
Poole,
right,
Wiggins, right? Yeah.
right. Like you said, when he went up to Wiggins and he was, you know what I mean? Like everyone sees the gif off the time, you know what I mean? So a lot, like you said, it's kind of cool to see that because it is deeper than just basketball, you know? Like you're being a presence in the locker room helping these younger guys out because you are a champion. You're a finals MVP.
Right,
So
right.
you know what it takes to in these situations. So kind of being just like
Mhm.
that veteran presence, I feel like it's especially nowadays the league is so young and it's kind of crazy now like veterans are like probably one of the better players on the teams like the KDs, the
Unk,
LeBrons, the you know what I mean like Kyrie's like they're you know what I mean they're veterans but
they're
they're
still cold. Yeah, they're
cold.
still
So
cold.
opposed to like kind of how it used to be back in the day, where you would just have a veteran on the team just so they could teach you how to
If he was a vet.
be a
Right,
professional,
exactly.
you know. So shout out to Iggy, bro. It was just really random, like because I was just on Twitter just scrolling. I was like, what the fuck? Andre Iguodala's getting his jersey retired.
So,
That
yo,
was literally my reaction.
no, for sure. So I think this is a perfect segue into the next thing I was gonna bring up. So we don't like talking about negativity, but we did bring up this dude a couple podcasts ago. But I was gonna talk about Jimmy Butler. He is not getting his jersey retired anymore
No,
because he's suspended indefinitely.
yeah,
They don't like Jimmy Butler anymore. And I was gonna tell you, I have to recant my statement of what I we have to go back on that because I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. So I wanted to see your thoughts on that. Like obviously with him leaving like this, do you think the Heat are gonna give him any
absolutely
grace?
not.
Right,
Absolutely not.
right.
Like,
So for people
regardless
that
of what
don't
he's
know,
done for the organized,
yeah,
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 absolutely not.
for sure,
It sucks.
absolutely
Like,
not.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I thought he would. I literally we talked about it. I thought he would. He deserves to if
right.
he were to, take it seriously and be a professional, but he's not being one. For people who don't know, Jimmy Butler's been suspended indefinitely. Like, bro can't hoop right now because essentially he had a practice a few days ago. I was talking to Lewis about it. They had a practice I think 2 days ago. He shows up and I guess Spolstra. I didn't know this. I think Shams reported it like later. I think so. What's kind of sketch about the ESPN, bro, is like they'll tell you the headline, but they don't give you the details until they figure them out. So you
Yeah,
just have like a headline when it first happens, but then like obviously, bro, I think so. He reported. So Shams was the first one to report it. Obviously, he was saying that like, hey, Jimmy Butler's suspended indefinitely. I think it's for conduct detrimental to the team,
yeah.
whatever. Then he ended up getting the details, and what happened was Jimmy Butler went into a practice. Spoelstra was there, Pat Riley was there. They told him that he wasn't starting. And mind you guys, whenever you go into an NBA practice, I'll try to set the scene a little bit. It's very like professional and it's very like you get your work in, right? Like CJ, you show up maybe 30 minutes or an hour early, you get some shots up before practice, you get a stretch in, you get a stretch, in the trainer's office, whatever. You come back out, you get ready. You're just expecting to go. Like usually you get up and down. NBA practice is fairly easy. They're not gonna put you through a ton of drills. You're already fairly skilled. You just go through the plays and do scrimmages. So Jimmy's probably expecting just to hoop, right? Like he's probably not expecting this. Bro, yeah, Pat Riley, supposed to pull him to the side and let him know that he's not starting. And I guess he throws a temper tantrum. That's what Sham said, and walked out of the building, was
Yeah.
like cursing out staff members and shit like that. And that's what I was telling you, bro. That shit can't go, bro.
No.
Like we can't allow that type of culture in our like ever, bro. I'm not gonna ever allow for people to be around me like that if you're gonna act that way. But I just think it's asinine, it's stupid, it's ignorant, and yeah, it's gonna cost him his jersey retirement. That's why I asked you. I think it's a mess because you want to be professional in those situations, and I know it's tough because like I was saying, like it's you're expecting to just have another day. You're a multi-million dollar athlete. You just got, worked on by probably a fine ass nurse, like pause, but like, you
Right.
just doing your thing, bro.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No
yeah, like
reason
that's what I
to.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
like
crazy.
for him to just,
Yeah. It's kind of it's
like it's just
disappointing, honestly.
yeah, no, it's
Like
disappointing.
like you said, because he could have got
That's what
his
Loach
jersey
said.
retired. Like the things that he did for the organization, regardless if they obviously didn't win, but they made it to the finals. You know what I mean? And the fact that they were the first play-in team to do that, like, it's so much things that like if he would have just kept. Obviously, we don't know what happened, but it's
Right.
something to where he had to be suspended
And
indefinitely. So
I was gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. There's probably like on some man to man, like there's probably some things
some
that were
things,
said
yeah,
that were inappropriate.
right,
I'm gonna be honest, so I'm gonna
had to,
give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt on that one. I know there was probably some things said that it's just like, all right, that's against what I'm about. I
right,
understand that, but you got guys like Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero, just like, all right, bro,
right,
see ya.
like,
Like there's no more. We don't have the time for this. It's not gonna be something where we care about it, and like
mm,
they like refuse to talk about it. It's kind of cool. Like I think there was an interview with um, Tyler Hero and Khalil Ware, and like it was after a game, and they got asked about Jimmy, and they were just like, oh, like
right,
nah, like I don't know.
yeah. Like I feel like it's we're not worried about that right now. You know what I mean?
It's us, bro. I don't like that. Like
Yeah.
that can't, that's not like I was telling you kind of off camera. It's just that's not right to me. Like we want to build proper relationships in where we work, and
Mm.
um, I don't think Jimmy Butler's about heat culture at all. I think he was always kind of about himself,
Yeah,
but
low key. I
you
was just
gotta,
about to
yeah, you
say
gotta,
that.
you gotta know that, man. You gotta like see that from afar. He's always been like this.
Yeah.
That's why I like Jimmy. Like, he's not gonna run from who he is. I don't like that he's being like this, but he's never faked it.
Right.
That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. You know that too, bro. Like
Hmm.
Jimmy Butler never faked it.
Nope.
Like, yeah, they knew they
He's
knew
like
what
you
they
said.
was getting into.
He's been really the same type of player,
Yeah,
mentality and
yeah.
everything. It's just kind of
Same
like
type of person,
you know.
brash as fuck, bro. He's
Yeah.
probably like the most passive aggressive person in the NBA. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is.
Like, remember what he did to Drew Holiday? I don't know if you remember. So, do you remember the playoffs? It was against the Bucks, right? It was Game 6. This was when they beat the Bucks. They came back 2-0.
Yes.
So this is yes, bro. So, bro, going up against Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday like gets a steal, whatever, kind of talks a little bit of mess. And bro, I've never seen Jimmy Butler snap so fast. Like I've never seen it. But that's when I was like, oh, this dude's like he's got like a fuse.
Yeah.
And once that gets hit, bro, it's like that's kind of what I mean when I say passive aggressive. Like once he gets into aggressive mode, it's like it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. Like you don't even probably want to be around him type shit.
Yeah, bro. Like he was like bumping, like it was like sketch. I was like, bro, like you body to body with this man. Pause. Like this is like kind of like it's against your rule as a man. Like that's when
Right.
I
You
was like,
should. Yeah.
oh
You
shit.
shouldn't be
Like
doing
this
shit
is
like that. Yeah.
yeah, nah, not like you're not. I'm not gonna allow people to just get in my face and like all that. I just think it's point is, bro, to kind of wrap up the point. It's a shame we're talking about it again, but it happened recently. I just think. He's just not about the culture there, and that's what kind of what Los was saying too. And it's a shame because the Heat culture is awesome. I
Yeah.
think that's a place I would want to play and be a part of. And if he doesn't want to do that, like CJ said earlier, bro, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So what, man? Like
It
I
could have
can't.
been a mutual parting type of thing. It didn't need to get to the point where they're having you not play, you know?
Right.
Like it didn't need to be
Yeah.
like that, bro. I don't know. It's obviously we don't know everything, but outside looking in, we can only base it off of that. It just doesn't look good on
Right.
Jimmy.
And we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
For
Like they
sure,
might have
yeah.
said something like, yeah, bro,
For
I get
sure.
it, but it's still like we got to be professional. But that was just another, good segue into that because I don't think he'll get his jersey retired.
Nah, I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
Sad.
No, yeah. Yeah, but also too, bro, I wanted to ask you a little bit. I know you saw the thing with De'Aaron Fox, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? We talked about it, man. Like you were saying, you were smiling. You were like, we've been calling it, bro. We've been
Yeah, bro.
consistent.
It's
Yeah, we've been
crazy.
consistent, bro.
Yeah,
So,
so
um, what are
De'Aaron
you thinking?
Fox. Yeah, I was gonna say De'Aaron Fox. Said he pretty much wants to be traded off of the Kings, and even if he doesn't, I think he's on a 1 year deal, so he can opt out of going to the Kings next year,
No, right.
regardless. But
He has there's a
player
player
option,
option, but
yeah.
yeah. He can leave, right?
But yeah, I think one of his main teams he wants to go to is the Spurs, and I think we talked about that. You know what I mean? We talked about kind of what good spot for him to be on would be probably like a month ago, right? It was before.
Well, there's a world where he just opts in and kind of just fucks with the Kings until you're saying like he gets traded and like
Mm,
'cause he gets paid first,
right.
right? And then like he'll get traded to the Spurs and the Spurs have cap space, but
Yeah.
what were you saying?
I was just saying. we kind of called it, you know, like because I think
Yeah,
you also
yeah.
said that the Spurs is probably the ideal
Well, they
situation
have
for him,
cap
right?
space. That's why I said like they're the only.
Yeah,
De'Aaron Fox is not a cheap player.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we like that's kind of like we were saying it. That's the only. There's only a couple realistic places he can go to. That's
yeah.
why I think that's the problem with baseball, right? Is like anywhere any player can go. Like I kind of like that, but I think there needs to be some restriction. That's why the NBA is fun. Like
Yeah.
you don't know, but we kind of knew because yeah, the Spurs do have cap space. They do need a point guard. They are a perfect destination for him, and he
Hmm.
would love to play with Wemby. I know he would.
Right. Yeah. Who wouldn't? You know what I mean? And that I think that just kind of we also talked about it when you were talking about the Spurs last episode. Like, do you think will they get an All Star? Or is there a player that can be an All
There you
Star?
go.
And
I was gonna say,
obviously,
yep. I was gonna bring that up.
De'Aaron
Right.
Fox is wanting to go there, and I'm pretty sure it's because of Wemby. He kind of he probably sees
He
that
said, "I'm
he
pretty sure." He said, "I'm pretty sure." No, I'm sure.
right.
I'm sure.
So
Like
it's
I think De'Aaron Fox, to your point, is like you're saying, bro. He's smart enough to realize his prime is only gonna last, 3 or 4 more years. Like it's time to go.
mhm,
Like kind of after the probably in 5 more years, I feel like De'Aaron Fox will be like probably what he's not super old, but he's not like young anymore.
right. I think
But
he's
he'll
my
be,
age. I think he's like 27.
yeah, he'll be, at the end of his prime. Like he's got his window right now. He's entering in his like 4 or 5 year window of he's going to be very good. And I
Right.
think whenever he hits 33 or 34, you'll start to see him taper off. But
Mhm.
until then, right, you got to do everything in your power to get to a contender. I like the winning mentality. I don't appreciate how he's doing it. Honestly, he's been really nonchalant and he's blamed. He didn't blame the Kings front office, but he said something about how the Mike Brown thing just didn't. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think Doug Christie's honestly done awesome too. It's kind of like we talked about it, but I don't think De'Aaron Fox likes him, and
Mhm.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I think man to man, bro. That's another man to man thing. Like I just sometimes you just don't like people.
Mhm.
And it's like they're not a bad person. You just don't like them. You don't like their process. You don't like the way that they talk. That's okay. I think he's trying to figure out where, and it's sad because Pop hasn't coached all year, and hopefully he can get better. I
Yeah.
think he also might want to go there because of that and
Mhm.
get some really deep Hall of Fame mental coaching. But I feel like he's kind of in now or never mode. And
Yeah.
the Kings don't seem to be in now or never mode. They're not trading anybody. They're not making any move to improve the roster. They thought DeMar DeRozan would. That's not going to do it. So they're kind of stuck in no man's land. So I respect it.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%, bro. It's not like they're not like a bad team either, so it's a weird
Not at
situation. You
all.
know what I mean? Like they've been winning since Doug Christie's been their coach, like you said, and Sabonis is
Yeah, his record's over 500. It's like 1 or 2 games above 500.
yeah, and then you have a All NBA type player with another All NBA type player, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll be I don't know how to put this. I love Sacramento. I'm from there. I just think they've never been able to figure it out, bro. And
Yeah.
it's I remember they used to play Lakers. They couldn't figure it out then. I just think like since then they haven't done anything, and it's
Mhm.
just frustrating because they've had the pieces.
Yeah.
They let Tyrese Halliburton walk, even though they traded him. That still was in the door, and they didn't see what that could turn into with De'Aaron Fox. And I just think and they're losing Fox, right? Right? Like so, this is what you kind of just have to push your chips all in. That's why we'll talk about the Suns in a second, but people hate Matt Ishbia. I'll tell you what, though, he's not a faker. He pushes all his chips in the like in the middle, and says, "Yeah, I'm all in." Like I
Mhm.
respect that, man. I don't necessarily, you know, agree with the process, like the Jimmy thing, like, but I respect if you can stand on the table and go down with your thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, for sure. Would you like to travel around the horn though? I think we got a couple teams to talk about.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
For sure. You wanna get into the Celtics?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, man, I'm not a Celtics fan. I'm actually the complete opposite. So I can't believe I'm talking about them, but we're going around the NBA, just showing love to all the teams. So, yeah, you guys haven't been playing good though. So f y'all. And yeah, go.
Facts. No, they have not been playing well
But
at all.
yeah, so yeah, I wanted to see your thoughts on that, man. Obviously, I've asked you this, and you've already given me answers at length. Are they going to repeat? That's not what I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think that this bump in the road is a problem, and do you think they need to make any trades to improve their roster? That's
Mm.
the only two questions that I
Fuck.
got for you. Because I'll get into my analysis, but I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think so. I think it's kind of I mean, this team won a chip last year. It's like what I think they're just like you said just going through a shooting slump. If they're making
Right?
more
Yeah, yeah. So
shots,
yeah,
it'd be a
like
different story.
21st in 3-point shooting.
Right.
Bro, and I don't know
Like
what's
why?
happening with
Yeah,
that.
why?
Yeah, I don't. All of them are ice
It just happened out of
cold,
nowhere.
bro. Yeah, bro, and I think Joe Mazzulla's kind of. That's why math is so beautiful, because like you have to kind of deal with this, right? If you end up, he was assuming like the offense he had built, they would shoot 40% always.
Yeah.
But what if you don't?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what CJ's saying.
That's
It's
what they're
it's
running into right now.
yeah, that's what they're running into. It's what if you don't though?
Hmm.
You can shoot 73s, but if you're not shooting them at 35%,
Right.
still not that valuable,
Right.
right? So they're starting to kind of see, okay. And then KP's in and out of the lineup. Like, I think when they have KP in there, they don't lose games, but he's an NBA champion. That's another thing people got to remember. He did it somehow, bro. He's
Yeah.
climbed the mountain. And
Hmm.
he had two finals games that were just amazing, like one of the better ones I've, seen from a 7-footer.
Yeah.
But yeah, his inconsistency of being able to stay healthy's killed his career, I think, in general, right? I
Hmm.
think that's kind of always been the question. And then, like you were saying, I don't think they need to panic and make any trades, but losing, I think they've lost what? I think in December they lost to the Bulls. Um, they recently just lost to my team, obviously,
Yep.
and they
They
lost
lost to the
uh,
Rockets. That game
the
winner
Rockets.
by a men.
Yep. Amen. Yep. So they've been uh they've been spiraling. I think it's all in due time. I think they're gonna figure it out. Honestly, I'm sorry, you guys, because like obviously, if you're a Celtics fan, I feel bad for you because I'm not that. So I'm not gonna talk about your team too highly.
Right.
But I think you guys are good enough to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals and potentially make the finals. And like CJ's saying, once you guys figure it out, and Missoula figures out an offense that he can go towards, that whenever they are struggling from three, this can work. I think Peyton Pritchard's unusable if he can't hit a three. I will say that. And then if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are struggling at all, that team has no value. So
Hmm.
I think they need to be careful about taking players for granted. I think I texted you about it the other day. People just assume that these players are just going to be these players. And while that's cool, I think the Celtics are running into trouble with
Hmm.
that. Because, yeah, Jason Tatum's been struggling. He's still obviously going to be on All NBA, All Star starter. Not that that matters really with the new format, but um, just the consistency of them and the way that they play, it really is needed to continue to do so. Like it's not something that like, oh, well if we're shooting 20% on threes, we can bomb 70 threes, like
Right.
Missoula will make the adjustments needed if his team continues to falter for a long time. The only game that I really caught was the Lakers one and then also the Warriors one, and I think that Warriors one they were able to win.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, they blew him
so
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was a good game. They hit their threes. They played defense well, and I think that's always something that the Celtics will be able to count on going on in the future is just their ability to play defense. And
Hmm.
obviously they have such great team camaraderie and cohesiveness. It's hard to beat that type of continuity.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
No,
lot
for
of C
sure.
words, Jesus.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
It's hard to count them out. Honestly, like regardless of how bad they're doing, they're the reigning champion. You know.
Right, right. And that's kind of why I ask, like, oh, you think they can repeat? Like, yeah, but I don't think they will.
I don't.
Not even because I'm an LA fan. I just think they have cracks
Yeah, I don't
in
think they
their
will either.
offense and defense that they didn't have last year. They also have been sucking on defense. If the Celtics don't guard, they're also worthless. Again,
Yeah.
like sometimes it seems like they pick and choose when they want to play. They get torched, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, we actually don't have a good defense.
Yeah.
Like they look lost. Jason Tatum doesn't look like he tries, and Jaylen Brown doesn't want to try, and then nobody wants to try. So I wonder, for Celtics fans, how they're gonna feel going forward whenever they do watch their team struggle like that. Um, but ultimately, I think they'll be okay, and that's that. I'm not gonna, talk about them for too long, right?
For sure.
'Cause yeah, that's not really, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think let's see. I think the next team I was gonna chat about, bro. I think we're gonna go out west, man. We're gonna talk about the Suns, man. Um, they've been doing really well. I don't
Hmm.
know if you've been seeing,
I caught
but pretty.
their last game, the one against the Clippers. I caught that like probably like the
Oh
fourth
yeah,
quarter of that.
how are they doing?
I shit, bro, they're doing really well. To be honest, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Book is, he's one of those players where I like feel like I haven't been hearing about him as much, but he's still scoring what like 22 a game, 23 a game, whatever it is. Hey, let me just double
Yeah, I
check real
think
quick.
so. Over these last 10, he's
25
been getting
actually.
like 20. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say over the last 10, he's been getting like 28, bro.
Right,
So
but
him and KD have been
right,
awesome.
it's been that's what it pretty much has been for them, right? KD, Book, and then the occasional Bradley Bill, 25, 30 point game, whatever it is from him. But like you said, it's a lot of people give Matt Ishby a lot of hate for being all chips all in with this team. But I think we're kind of seeing whenever
Yeah,
everything's
what that can
clicking,
do
what
to you,
it can be.
right?
You know what I mean? And at least you know what they're trying to do. At least you know like their intentions, like you said, they're all in. If this is the roster, obviously
Yeah, they
they got Nick Richards.
mm, yeah. I will say though, that's gonna hurt them later, man.
Oh, I
Oh
mean, yeah,
man.
for sure. It's how it is, bro. Like you can't go all in
Yeah,
right
one
now and
without the
think
other,
about your
right?
future. It's not how it goes. I mean, you know that. Like we
Yeah,
talk
bro.
about it all the
It's
time.
just
It's just not. It
for
just
people
it's
who don't
not.
know, they swapped their 2027 with the Jazz. So the Jazz got their 2031 and they took the Jazz's 2027.
Hmm.
And the Suns are going to be horrible in 2031.
For sure.
Horrible.
Yeah.
So,
They'll
I
think
mean, they're
about that
making
whenever
moves
that
like
time
that, man.
comes.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
it's
I love the Nick Richards trade. I
yeah.
feel bad for Yusuf Nurkic. For people that don't know, he doesn't play anymore. I think he's gonna
Right.
get traded.
He doesn't. Yeah.
So yeah, it's sad, bro. I think he was good for them. I don't really know. I think he has a bad history with Budenholzer. I don't like Budenholzer as a coach. I never really have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't think their chemistry is very healthy. And then he's kind of an old style big, right? He doesn't shoot the three very well. He's slow. He can't guard. Like I understand. But I think they're Royce O'Neal, Nick Richards, Devin Booker, KD, right? Beal. I think when
Mm-hmm.
those guys are hooping, they look amazing, and I think they're 8-2 over the last 10.
Mm-hmm.
So they've clearly been able to string together a lot of wins, and I think KD's been having essentially, bro. I would say a top five, probably three efficiency season ever that he's ever had. Um, he just looks amazing, bro. I think he's been obviously, bro. He's a starter, but he's been like the one consistent part of the Suns. I think Devin Booker's starting to finally come around.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a ton of their games this season,
Yeah. Neither
but
have I.
anytime I do, they look really good. I mean, I watched them the first game of the year and they looked great, and they
Mm-hmm.
lost, but um, yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was still a good win. It was still
Yeah.
they still look good.
Yeah. I was about to
But
say the that game looks very deceiving. Just because the Clips went on a run, literally like probably the last minute of the game. I think they scored like 13. It was like a 13 as oh yeah, bro. It was crazy. Clips are looking really nice too. I know we're talking about the Suns right now, but that's a different story. But yeah, no,
yeah,
this
we'll
I,
get into the Clippers for sure. I was
yeah,
gonna talk about yeah.
but no, yeah, the Suns, bro. I mean, this is kind of the ideal situation, right? Like this is what we were expecting to see of them. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Matt Ishbia's dream comes true. I just don't know if they'll go to the finals. My
I
thing
don't think
is,
so.
what are they going to look like in the playoffs when they have to go to their bench?
Yeah,
I
Grayson Allen. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but I just again like they have I think they have Bull.
yep.
Um, they have Grace. I can't even name. They have Dunn. They have Grayson Allen. Who is their bench? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about
Dunn,
it. Yeah,
Gillespie,
Gillespie, right?
uh, Damian Lee, Monte Morris.
Monte Morris, that's the other one. That's the other guy who's been hooping. So yeah, I mean, they're about 7 deep. I don't really know if that's gonna work in the playoffs. I think it's working for this stretch of games right now up until the All Star break. But if you're a Suns fan, you have to be extremely happy, especially with everything that you've been through. And shout out Matt Ishbia, man. He lowered the prices, man. Like, did you see that? Yeah, like you can
Yeah,
go
I
get a
saw
$2
that.
hot dog in
I
this.
saw
Like
that.
he's kind of people can hate on him all he wants, but I think you guys will be okay. But hopefully, I worry about their future. I
Yeah.
think
Oh yeah.
I don't really have any questions about what's going on in the present. I think I was gonna ask you, do you think Bradley Beal will get traded before the deadline? Before we kind of wrap it
Ooh,
up.
that's a good question. Fuck. Well, he has a no trade clause,
No,
right? And he can only agree on the teams. And what were the teams? I know he's talked about them.
I think it was like the Heat.
Was it
Uh,
was it the Grizzlies? Am I bugging? Hold up. I'm gonna look it up.
No, you're not bugging, but I think you're no, no, no. He can't get traded. His contract's horrible. I was gonna say that I don't think they can figure out a deal in time
Yeah, it'd have to be
because
like a
nobody's gonna want
fucking
to take that money.
3-team trade type shit.
And for like people who don't know, players can either be good money or bad money. Like, and what I classify as good money is a player who is outplaying the value of their contract. So let's for example, like a player like Alex Caruso, if you sign him to a $4 million 1 year deal and he gives you $8 million of value, that's considered good money. But a bad money contract is somebody who's underplaying their value, and that would be Bradley Beal because unfortunately his contract comes with a no trade clause, and he's also getting damn near 300 million.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I know. I don't
Shout
think
out
he's
his
getting
agent
traded.
though, for sure, for sure.
Oh, that man got the bag.
Yeah, I just think it's that was the one question I have for you for Suns fans. I'm sure they're wondering if he'll get traded. I don't think so. I think actually they'll trade Nurkic before they trade Beal.
Yeah, for sure. I
For
mean,
sure.
he's not even getting any PT right now, so no reason for him to be on the team.
Well, yeah, not right now, but he's been quality enough. And if people don't remember last year in the playoffs, like he had a couple games, 20 and 10. Like he's not horrible. He's still a top 25 big in the NBA. It's okay.
Yeah.
He'll be okay. But going kind of in on our next team and our last team, the Magic, man, they have been. We're going back out east. They have been. You know, the wagon is kind of falling apart, man. We were talking about how they were kind of becoming the team of Florida, and I was gonna ask you, as of right now, they look like the team of nothing. I think they're 2-8 in the
Yeah.
last 10.
Yeah.
Their offense looks stuck in mud. They don't really have a ton of excuses outside of, they were playing well. They've been hurt pretty much all season, so they don't, I don't really know what's going on. But to me, I was gonna ask you, I don't know if you've caught any games, but kind of judging off what I've been saying, I think those dudes are tired, bro. I think they've been playing a lot of minutes, a lot of games. They're not really used to it,
Hmm.
and it's impacting kind of their current schedule. And then also they've kind of had a tough schedule um, recently, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this.
I was just
What's
about
up?
to say I'm looking at the scores, and I mean they were. I mean their offense really wasn't the greatest, anyways. But like there's games where they weren't even cracking like 80 points.
80
Not not
points.
not even getting over 100 in a lot of these games, and
So I was gonna bring that up to you, man. I think the Magic. I was gonna ask you this. Do you think the Magic, when they are struggling, to me they look like the worst team in the NBA when they're struggling from the an offensive perspective? Do you have
right.
to agree? Obviously, outside of the Wizards, but to me they just look so stuck in mud. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Nobody can score. It's just a mess.
I think they're like you said, whenever their just offense is just bad. Like honestly, like whenever they're
Yeah.
obviously injuries and shit like that, but they were winning without a lot of their good players. And I think, like you said, it just kind of goes to show you can only sustain that for so long, especially in the NBA season when the season is 82 games long. It's, you did it for like a third of the season, maybe like a
Right, right.
quarter, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was realistically probably the best you'll get. But yeah, I wouldn't say they're like. No, yeah, they're probably the worst because if they can't even score, more than likely you're not going to be able to defend as well, just because you got
Right.
tired
And
legs
I
and shit
think
like that.
I
It's
think over these last 10, second worst, just to the Wizards, obviously. But
mm,
offensive rating, horrible. It's just bad. And I think their defense hasn't been the greatest too. I think that was
yeah,
something that was kind of the backbone of their success.
mm,
I think injuries have played a massive part into kind of what's going on with them. I'm not gonna like hate on them too much because genuinely they've surprised me enough already.
right.
Clearly they're a good team. They are a team that we definitely have to worry about. But yeah, bro, I think it's tough. It's tough if you're a Magic fan right now because you're used to this. You're used to going through tough stuff. But I think you're just starting to get used to winning,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a tough thing to do because whenever you start tasting those W's, you just never want to stop, right?
Yep.
And right now, I think their offense is stuck in mud, and their defense is not being able to back them up. And having Jalen Suggs still hurt, and Franz, and obviously, with just Paolo kind of trotting along out there, it's tough because a lot of those guys don't have the offensive skill set that you need to be a successful playoff team. They do. I think they make the playoffs or I don't even know. We'll see. I'm not going to declare that yet. If they do make the playoffs, it's because of their defense. It's not going
Mm.
to be because of their offense. It's not going to be. They're not going to be known for being a potent offense. It's going to be
Fuck no.
all defensive. Yeah, it's going
Yeah,
to
I
be
was gonna
all
say
deep.
they never were even when they had other players, sadly.
Oh yeah, for real.
But it's just when you have a comparable team, you're able to work with what you have, and their defense was great, and their offense was like mediocre, I guess. So it's like kind of outweighs it, kind of like
Yeah,
But
and kind of to wrap it up for the Magic section, but do you think that they can potentially, build around the current core that they have when they're healthy, though? Even though you say that they don't have great offense, I think those core three are still pretty deadly. What would you have to agree? And then,
oh yeah,
do you think they'll just have to add some more pieces, right?
yeah. I mean, Paolo, Franz, they were arguably playing at all-star levels at the beginning of the season. Plus Suggs, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know
They
what.
need more though. They need more though.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say I don't know what their like maybe like a better like guard, shooting guard,
Big,
something.
yeah,
I
or
don't
like
know.
or a center. I was gonna say if they can find themselves a big, not to hate on Goga, but I think Goga just has a lot of pressure, and I think he's a backup. I think
Yeah,
that's somebody you play 25 minutes off the bench. But if you had a good big who was skilled, again, like it's crazy. Nikola Vucevic would be perfect for the Magic now,
mm,
and
yeah,
he used to play on the Magic.
right.
But yeah, it's funny because Vucevic is still if you got I mean he's still doing the 2010
Yeah,
damn
for
near
the Bulls, right?
50-40. Yeah, like he's still him and Zach LaVine are actually having I think the most efficient seasons they've ever had this year
Yeah.
ever. The Bulls are horrible, but we'll talk about them because I know if you're a Bulls fan, you're happy with what you've gotten a little bit, especially from Giddy too. I know people probably weren't expecting much, but Buzelis, Giddy, Levine, Vucevic, it's
I
something.
feel like they're in a weird spot though, because I feel like their intentions
Oh,
of this
totally.
season was to kind of tank, and they're doing a lot
They're,
better
yeah,
than
they're
what they wanted
they're
to
they're
be.
in a weirder spot than the Magic,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, yeah.
They're in no man's land, but I think the Magic have a clear direction.
Right. They Magic are trying to playoff contention. I think the
Right,
Bulls were
right.
trying to flag
Sync.
race type shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but I mean,
Yeah,
they
man.
just happen
Interesting.
to be better than what they expected. So
Interesting. Yeah, you just gave me the a couple, we'll probably chat about the Bulls next time for sure and the Clips.
I mean, obviously, like I haven't been watching every single game, but I'll catch some here and there. And I've been seeing, like you said, Vucevic and Zach LaVine
Right.
having
Yeah, I was gonna say we've been talking about him all
crazy,
year
crazy
though.
seasons. But yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Was there
Uh,
anything else you wanted to say about the Magic?
Nah, man. I think oh well yeah, actually if you're a Magic fan, I think you're happy with the reason I asked CJ that question is cuz just looking forward, I think you're really happy and you're excited for what they can be. I
Hmm.
think you guys just have to go through this rough patch as a team, man, and kind of just figure it out. I think nobody. I love the NBA. There's no sympathy for anybody, so it's kind of like, you're not gonna get babied through this. But I think if you're a Magic fan, you're happy with what you've received this year, especially with the play-in. I think that's why the play or not the play-in, the in-season tournament. My goodness, I think that's why that's so cool. Is because every team kind of gets an opportunity to play in that. So
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%, bro. Well, shit, I think going into the money
yeah,
section, huh? The
you know
betting
what time
segment.
it is. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
shit, I actually had some part not even a parlay, some slips for these earlier games. Let me tell you what I did. My first one was actually Cade and I
Oh.
did Cade points and assists 36.5. Let me see what it's looking like right now. He's at 36 right now. So he's more than likely going to hit. It's 11 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter. So another dub, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then
bro.
I have, you know, got to stick with old reliable, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Carl Anthony Towns, points and rebounds,
Rebounds, yes, sir.
37 and a half. I like that one, man. And he's actually not looking that good right now. He has 11 total, and it's in the third quarter. He has some time,
He has some time. He has some
but
time, but
and
that's
it's a close game, but he's obviously
yeah,
going
yeah.
against the
He'll be
Nuggets
okay. He'll
and
be okay.
Yoke. But those were my two
You
plays.
got to be confident.
Yeah, we got it. Still early, so we'll see.
Wait,
Cashed on
so
the
so
first one.
so wait, how is Yoke doing?
Yoke, he ain't doing the best right now, bro. 4-3-2
What in the third quarter?
in the third quarter.
All right.
Did you bet on him?
It's not hitting, bro. Yes. Like I took triple double, bro.
Oh shit. You said it too, bro. You say it every time.
Ah, that is so insane. I'm like, wait, in the third quarter?
That's nuts,
Like, what
bro.
has he been doing, bro?
I
Like,
don't
what is he
know.
doing?
I have no
What is he
idea.
doing? He
He's
may not. He may be hurt or something.
he's been on the court. I mean, he's played 11 minutes. So I mean, just I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
Jamal Murray has 16. If that says anything,
Oh, shit.
do you know what I mean?
Jamal Murray, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, so shout out Outlier. We love you guys. Y'all know that. I was using it on the app. I was scrolling through. I was like, man, this really tickles my need for this.
Right.
Um, but I'm going with Jokic triple double against the Knicks, and clearly, as of right now, that is not looking too hot, and that's another mispick, if so.
Hey,
But
we
but
believe
I,
in
I
it,
got
bro.
I
Come
got a
on.
better one. I got a better one for y'all. I don't think they tipped yet, but this is a parlay little. This is why I said I had three picks, but I'm going with Shea over 29.5 points. Should be like minus 240, and then Thunder money line. I know it's like a minus 500, but they should easily win. I feel like
Okay.
Shea's been getting 30 pretty much every game this year. I think his original line is like 32 and a half, so it's 3 points less. I can definitely see him just getting like 31 points tonight for some reason, and
Yeah.
then that's that. And then the,
Okay.
the Thunder win. That's kind of why I want to add that safety net. But obviously, Thunder money line, they're amped to play. I think the Warriors have been in a tailspin, and so why not fade those dudes?
Yeah. Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
I
on
know
that
you
one.
would.
I'll tell you on that one,
Yeah, for
man.
sure. That one can definitely smack. But
Right.
bro, yeah, the yoke triple double. I think I gotta retire it, man. Like I don't know, it sucks because I see it every day. But like I'm just like, man, I can't.
And then right
Like I think
when
I'm
you
0
don't
and 3 on this podcast, bro. Like no kizzy.
when you don't bet on it, he gets a triple double
He's gonna
in
get
the
it
first
tomorrow,
quarter.
bro. Yeah, but yeah, like he'll do 10, 10, and 10 in 2 quarters. It's
That's
insane,
unlucky, bro.
bro.
That's so
Yeah,
unlucky.
it's unlucky. It's just unlucky because, like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't know.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he's just chilling. Yeah, it's just funny. Because it's
Damn.
just like that's betting for you. If you've never betted before either, please be safe. Because like
Right.
me and CJ know that this is gonna
It's a
happen.
part
Like
of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of it. But if you don't know, you might get angry. So yeah, that's also we have to have some disclaimers. Just be
For sure.
safe. You know,
Yeah.
you can bet $1 if you want. Your
Yeah.
unit size can be $1. You know, it can be 500, but just whatever you can afford to lose.
Exactly. But yeah. I mean, y'all kind of got a live reaction, I guess. We pay
Yeah,
some slips, but
I don't think we did that before.
no, we
That's
haven't actually, because I,
yeah,
I
that's
I
funny.
placed it before we even before I even
Yeah,
got
same.
home and shit.
Right.
So I was like,
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah, because I had the outline early. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had it to you early, so I
And
was able
of
to
course,
place it.
it's Wednesday. It's the betting segment this week. I
Yeah, bro.
had to look at all the slips tonight, but as of right now, looking like it's gonna be 1-1 for me. But you never know. Maybe Cat can go off in the fourth or something. So we'll wait and see. And Yoke, like you said, can fuck around, get a
He
triple
could do it.
double.
He could do it. Yeah,
In
if
a
he wants to. If he wants to.
And the thing I think it might be in your favor and my favor as well. It's a close game, so
Right.
they might be
Right.
playing for the rest of the game type of shit. So we'll see,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
I
Yeah,
like this.
bro.
This is super fire. We did like a
It's
live
okay.
reaction. Yeah.
Like you're saying, it's okay. What I love too is like that's why I always say take the over because it's never over till it's over, and then there's a reason they call it overtime. Like you're saying, like always just it could always be. I have this one story. It was when Kyrie and KD. We'll end on this. It was when they were playing against the Knicks, but they were playing on the Nets, bro. I'll never forget. I parlay with them. It was like, bro, I put like 250 on there. It paid
Sheesh.
like 500 something. So I was like, I need this to pay. So sure enough, bro, third quarter, Kyrie and KD, I did their over points. It was a same game parlay. They only had like 8 points each. I needed 27 and a half, I think, from KD, and then I needed like 24 and a half from Kyrie. It's the third quarter. So I'm like, man, I'm done. I
Yeah.
turn it off.
Fuck this. Yeah.
Bro, I check it later. Sure enough,
Cash.
bro, dual 30s. Yeah, dual 30s. So that's when I knew I was like, just never give up on it. You never
Yeah.
know. You
Facts.
never know.
That's what I
It can
like to
happen.
hear. That's what I like to hear,
Yeah.
bro. I bet
No,
you were.
bro. Like I got
Let's
hope. I got
go.
hope, bro. I was turned because I forgot about it. I was like, whatever. I lost
Right.
250. But then like before I went to sleep, I was like, let me check. Like whatever. You never know. Like because
Right.
it can. It
Yeah.
could.
It's not over till it's
Sure enough.
over.
Yeah, sure enough, they had an overtime game. Whenever they both finished, like Katie had 40, Kyrie finished at like 33. Like I was like, oh, okay.
Let's
I actually,
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I'm about to say
go.
double my money.
For sure,
Fuck
for
yeah.
sure. But yeah, I would love to go to Vegas with you, man. I know, obviously, it's not for gambling, but that's where you're from. So
Right.
I know it'd
100%.
be cool, and obviously there is that there, and yeah, man, we gotta just we gotta keep trying these bets to see if we can hit them.
Right. Yeah, 100%, bro. Let's
For
hit.
sure, bro.
Was there any last thoughts?
Other,
Anything you want to let
nah,
the
man.
people know?
I think on Saturday though we will be coming at y'all with these reserves because I think they drop pretty soon, and hopefully CJ and I were looking to do it in person, so hopefully that's something you guys enjoy. And next Monday too, we'll finish out the divisions and get that content out for you guys by next week. So I think we got some things that are actually going on. I think the All-Star break should be cool though, because I think the dunk contest is. We could talk about that before we leave. I don't know if you saw the list, bro,
I did.
but Stephon Castle,
Hmm.
Buzeli,
Hmm.
was there a
Andre
Thompson twin?
Andre Jackson Jr.
Yeah, Jackson Jr.
I don't think a
and
Thompson.
Mac McClung.
Matt McClung. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just Andre Jackson Jr. I think I know all those dudes got bounced, so we'll see. It's not going to be like Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, OG, but it'll
Right.
be something still. And I know Mac McClung still got bounced, bro. Like he's still
Yeah.
going to do something y'all ain't
He
seen
he
before.
gonna get a three-peat or what?
I think so, bro. And I just got respect for him because he's been like he's a mixtape hero, bro. But
Yeah.
he's actually still trying to make it to the NBA.
Yep.
But he's a mixtape hero. So if you've hooped, you know Mac McClung, bro.
100%.
Like he's cold for sure.
Yes, sir. But
Yeah, for sure. But that's it, man.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, if y'all liked and enjoyed this episode of 3 Man Weed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace. 3 Man, Thunder up.
Peace.
You ready?